Greetings, kids. Bishop Fetter here, your bishop. Good to be with you again. I'm going to read you another saint story. This one's for St. Frances Xavier Cabrini. St. Cabrini. She's from the United States. She came from Italy, but then came to the United States and was canonized a saint. She died in 1917, so not so long ago, huh? 100 years. Well, I guess for us, that's long. None of us were around. But here's her story, St. Frances Xavier Cabrini. As a child in Italy, Maria Francesca loved to play with dolls. She pretended they were nuns, and she was the abbess in charge of them. She made paper boats for them, filled the boats with violets, and then set her boats free on the water of a nearby river, imagining she was sending her nuns off to other lands. When she was 13, she went to a convent school where she blazed through her classes, earning high marks in all of them. But when smallpox hit her village, something terrible happened. Both of Maria Francesca's parents died. So did 10 of her 12 brothers and sisters. Maria Francesca caught smallpox too, but she survived because one of her sisters nursed her back to health. When she finished her studies at 18, Maria Francesca wanted to join the nuns. But because she had been so sick, the nuns were worried she couldn't handle the convent life. So Maria Francesca decided she'd live the life of a nun, all on her own. She began to pray at certain times of the day, just like the nuns at the convent did. She wore the simple clothes of a nun and ate only simple food. Instead of sleeping on a mattress, she slept on 2 boards. The nuns still wouldn't let her join the convent, but a priest asked her to teach children at the orphanage. Maria Francesca had no desire to teach children. Her deepest wish was still to join the other nuns, but she agreed to try teaching for just 15 days. 6 years later, she was still teaching, and a whole group of other women had joined her, almost as if she started her own convent. The nuns saw Maria Francesca's dedication and finally allowed her to become a nun too. She made her vows as a nun. Maria Francesca changed her name to Frances Xavier. Not long after, the nuns who didn't want her to join their order elected her to lead them as Mother Cabrini. Mother Cabrini and the other women moved into a monastery that had been abandoned by monks. They opened schools and homes for children, and even another monastery. A few years later, the Pope called a meeting with Mother Cabrini. "The American Archbishop has sent me a special request," he told her. "Many people from Italy had moved to the United States, and many of them were suffering. He wants me to send someone to help these people, and he asks for you by name." So Mother Cabrini agreed to leave everything she had known behind and move to the United States. But when she arrived in New York City in 1889, the man who had promised to give her a house to use as an orphanage had changed his mind. So Mother Cabrini had no longer had a place ready to welcome children. She didn't even have a place to live herself. "I think it's better if you just go back to Italy," the Archbishop told her. But Mother Cabrini refused. So the Archbishop found a place for her to live, while Mother Cabrini went to talk to the man who had changed his mind about giving her the house and persuaded him to let her have it after all. Over the next 30 years, Mother Cabrini started schools, orphanages, and hospitals all over the United States and around the world, in New York, Chicago, Colorado, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Spain, France, England, and beyond. But the United States was her home. And when Mother Cabrini was declared a saint, she became the first saint from the United States celebrated by the Church. Mother Cabrini, pray for us. God bless you, kids. It's a wonderful story. Let's all desire to become saints. Bye now.